Look at the person next to you. Not literally. In your mind. Look at the person who dismissed you yesterday. The one who talked over you in the meeting. The one who made you feel small with a single sarcastic smile. Look at the friend who borrows your time but never returns it. The partner who fights dirty, who twists your words until you forget what you even said. Look at the boss who takes credit for your work, not because he is smarter, but because he is louder. Now look at yourself. The version of you that apologized when you did nothing wrong. The version that laughed at a joke that stung. The version that said it's fine when it was not fine. That version is not weak. That version is untrained. There is a difference. You are about to become dangerously confident. Not the confidence that comes from positive affirmations or vision boards. Not the confidence that requires you to love yourself first. That is slow. That is soft. That is for people who have the luxury of time. You need something else. You need the kind of confidence that comes from understanding exactly how power moves between human beings. The kind that watches the game from above the board. The kind that makes manipulators nervous because they cannot read you. The kind that makes bullies hesitate because their usual tricks explode in their faces. This is dark psychology. Not evil, not cruelty, but understanding. Dark psychology is the study of persuasion, manipulation, coercion, and control. It is the shadow curriculum that the charismatic, the successful, and the dangerous all learn by instinct or by practice. And for too long, it has been kept in the hands of the few, the salesmen who close every deal, the politicians who win every debate, the narcissists who leave a trail of confusion and self-doubt behind them. They know things you do not. But you are about to know them too. Let us begin with the first truth. Confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is a signal, and signals can be manufactured. The most dangerous people in history were not the most competent. They were the most convincing. They understood something fundamental. Human beings do not respond to reality. They respond to their perception of reality. Change the perception, and you change the world. For them. Against them. It does not matter. You are the one holding the lens now. You want to be dangerously confident? Then you must first understand the architecture of influence. Everything you think is a choice has been shaped. Your desires have been shaped. Your fears have been shaped. Your taste in music. Your fear of public speaking. Your belief that you are not enough. These are not inherent truths. These are programs. Installed by parents, teachers, advertisers, ex-lovers, and random strangers on the internet. Dark psychology is the art of reprogramming. Yourself first, others second. Start with the mirror technique. This is not meditation. This is not self-love. This is tactical self-observation. Stand in front of a mirror and hold your own gaze for 3 minutes, without smiling, without looking away, without fidgeting. Most people cannot do this. Their eyes drop. Their hands move to their face. They break into a nervous grin. Why? Because direct eye contact is a threat display in the animal kingdom. It says, I see you. I am not afraid of you. I will not look away first. When you cannot hold your own gaze, you are signaling to yourself that you are prey. Stop that. Learn to look at yourself the way a hunter looks at a map, without emotion, without apology, just assessment. Do this every day for a week. Your posture will change. Your voice will change. Not because you feel different, because you have trained your nervous system to tolerate the discomfort that others run from. Now let us talk about the weapon of silence. Most people are terrified of silence. In conversation, they rush to fill the gaps. They explain themselves. They justify. They overshare. They laugh at jokes that are not funny. They agree with things they do not believe. Why? Because silence feels like rejection. The dark psychologist knows that silence is not empty. Silence is a pressure bomb. When you ask a question and then stay completely silent, the other person will panic. They will confess. They will negotiate against themselves. They will offer you information you never asked for. Try this tomorrow. Ask someone a direct question. Why did you say that? Then shut your mouth. Count to 8 in your head. Do not nod. Do not blink excessively. Do not say, "I'm just wondering." Just wait. 9 times out of 10, they will break before you do. And in that break, they will show you the truth. That is dangerously confident. Because you did not manipulate them. You simply refused to rescue them from their own discomfort. Next is the frame. Every conversation has a frame. The frame is the unspoken assumption about who has power, who is right, who owes whom. Most people walk into every interaction accepting the other person's frame. If someone accuses you of being selfish, the default reaction is to defend yourself, to explain, to prove you are not selfish. That is accepting their frame. That is playing their game on their field with their rules. Dark confidence says, "I reject your frame entirely." You do not defend. You do not explain. You shift. Someone says you are so selfish. You do not say, "No, I'm not. Here's a list of charitable things I did." You say, "It's interesting that you noticed that. What's going on with you?" You have just taken the spotlight off yourself and placed it back on them. You have refused the role of accused. You have become the interviewer. That is a frame shift. Practice this until it becomes reflex. The moment you feel the need to defend yourself, stop. Ask a question instead. Turn the mirror around. People who attack you are rarely interested in the truth. They are interested in control. Do not give it to them. Now we must discuss the darkest tool of all. The one that will make you dangerous, not to others, but to the version of you that accepts less than you deserve. I am talking about strategic detachment. Emotional investment is the leash that others hold. Every time you care too much about what someone thinks, you hand them the whip. Every time you need their approval, you kneel. The dangerously confident person does not need to be liked. They prefer to be respected. Respect is colder. Respect is harder to fake. Respect does not ask for your soul. Learn to watch your own emotions from a distance. When you feel anger rising, do not express it. Observe it. When you feel rejection burning in your chest, do not chase. Observe it. When you feel the desperate urge to text them back, to explain yourself, to set the record straight, stop. Observe the urge. Let it pass like a wave. This is not suppression. This is mastery. The puppet does not cut its own strings, but you can learn to hold the strings yourself. Dark psychology teaches you that most people are driven by 3 things: the need for status, the fear of exclusion, and the hunger for certainty. Every manipulation you have ever suffered maps onto one of these 3 drivers. The silent treatment exploits the fear of exclusion. The negging exploits the need for status. The love bombing exploits the hunger for certainty. Once you see these levers, you become immune to them, not because you are stronger than the manipulator, because you no longer live in the building where those levers are installed. You have moved to a different floor. They are pulling switches that do nothing. And that silence, that lack of reaction, is the most terrifying thing a manipulator can encounter. They would rather you scream. They would rather you cry. Because both are fuel. Indifference is a void, and the void does not negotiate. Let me give you a specific protocol. The next time someone tries to shame you, do not shrink, do not explain, do not apologize unless you have genuinely harmed someone. Instead, use the broken record technique. Pick one simple sentence and repeat it exactly, with no variation, no anger, no pleading. For example, someone says, "You are so unreliable." You say, "I see you feel that way." They say, "You always cancel last minute." You say, "I see you feel that way." They say, "You are impossible to work with." You say, "I see you feel that way." After 3 repetitions, they will either escalate to rage or collapse into confusion. Either way, you have not engaged. You have not defended. You have not bled energy. You have remained a closed system. That is dangerously confident, because confidence is mostly the absence of performance. The truly confident do not try to look confident. They simply refuse to look desperate. Now we talk about projection. This is the secret engine of most arguments. When someone accuses you of a specific flaw, check immediately whether that flaw describes them perfectly. The cheater accuses you of being secretive. The liar accuses you of being dishonest. The selfish person calls you selfish. This is not irony. This is psychological law. The mind cannot tolerate its own shadow, so it casts the shadow onto you. Once you see this, arguments become boring. Someone shouts, you never listen, and you think they are the one who interrupts everyone. Someone says, you are so controlling, and you think they just tried to tell you what to feel. You do not need to point this out. You do not need to win the argument. You just need to stop taking the accusation as truth. Watch the projection, smile internally, and move on. That smile is dangerous, because it says, I know something. You do not know, I know. Let us go deeper. The most dangerous confidence comes from the anticipation of manipulation.
Most victims are blindsided. They did not see it coming. The dark psychologist sees every interaction as a potential chess move. Not because they are paranoid, because they are realistic. Human beings are wired to test boundaries. Every joke at your expense is a test. Every just kidding is a probe. Every unsolicited advice is a power play. Learn to recognize the tests, the fake compliment, the backhanded question,
the public correction, the story that makes you look foolish. These are not accidents. They are tactics. And tactics fail when they are named. You can name them out loud or in your head. The effect is the same. Someone says, wow, you actually did a good job for once. Instead of feeling small, you say to yourself, that is a neg, designed to make me seek approval. No thank you. And you say nothing. Or you say, that's an interesting way to phrase a compliment. Then you watch their face rearrange itself. Because you have just named the frame. They cannot deny it without looking foolish. They cannot admit it without looking malicious. They are trapped in the space between their intention and your perception. That is power. Now we must address the fear. The fear that understanding dark psychology makes you dark. Let me be clear, a knife is not evil. A knife is steel. A surgeon uses it to save a life. An attacker uses it to take one. Dark psychology is a tool. It has been used against you your entire life. By people who did not even know they were doing it. By your parents who guilted you. By your first love who manipulated your jealousy. By your boss who uses intermittent rewards to keep you hoping for a promotion that never comes. You have been swimming in this water since birth. All I am offering is the ability to see the water. That is not darkness. That is waking up. And once you wake up, you have a choice. Use this knowledge to protect. Protect. To build. To lead with clarity. Or use it to destroy. The dangerously confident person chooses the first option, not because they are soft, because destruction is lazy. Manipulation of the weak is boring. The real challenge is to become so solid, so self-contained, so perceptive, that no one can move you against your will. That is confidence without cruelty. That is dangerous only to those who intended to harm you. So here is your final lesson. The most powerful position in any interaction is not dominance. It is non-neediness. The person who needs nothing from the other person holds all the cards. Neediness is the smell that predators track. Wanting a job too badly makes you suspicious. Wanting a relationship too desperately makes you repulsive. Wanting approval too openly makes you a target. Kill your neediness. Not by pretending not to care. By actually building a life so full, so interesting, so internally rewarding, that you do not need a single person in that room to like you. You would prefer respect. You would enjoy cooperation, but you do not need it. And that lack of need is the most intimidating thing a human can project. Because neediness is universal. Its absence is alien. And aliens are terrifying. You now have the map, the mirror, the silence, the frame shift, the strategic detachment, the projection radar, the test recognition, the non-neediness. These are not theories. These are muscles. Use them or lose them. This video will make you dangerously confident. Not because I have given you permission, not because I have hyped you up, but because you now see the matrix of human influence. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You will watch people manipulate each other in real time. You will watch yourself almost fall into old traps. And then you will step aside. Not with anger, not with triumph, just with the quiet recognition of someone who finally learned the rules of the game they did not know they were playing. Go. Be dangerous. But be dangerous in the way a mountain is dangerous to those who try to climb it without preparation. You are not here to attack. You are here to be unmovable. Now look in the mirror again. Hold your own gaze. And do not look away first.